Okay. Hey guys, welcome back.
Wait.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the Love Cafe, and today we're making a Fairfax sandwich. Today we're going to make my slight iteration on Chef Alvin Cailin's Fairfax Sandwich. You may know him from The Burger Show on YouTube. You may also have seen his restaurant around the internet called Eggslut. He's just released a book called Amboy, Recipes from the Filipino-American Dream. And so yeah, now we're just going to make his sandwich. So the first thing you're going to want to do is cut up your onion. Alright, so depending on how big your onion is, because you're only making, well, I'm assuming you're making one, that's what we're going to do today. You probably need about, this is a pretty big one, so you probably only need a quarter, and if it's there, and you make sure you won't run out. What we're going to do is we're going to be caramelizing these, so really thin slices, which will help it reduce a lot quicker than otherwise. Alright, so we're going to go on a low heat. That's still high. Alright, so kind of low, medium, low heat, about that. We'll go just a little bit of oil, tiny bit, just to get it going. And then onions go in. I might turn that up just a little bit more. Just keep an eye on these because they can turn really quickly. And we'll just start it off with a tiny little bit of salt as well, and we can add more later. Alright, lid on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do while the onions are sort of slowly going along, just keep an ear on them as well, as I just said. Make sure that they're not getting too far along. So with the chives, you just, a small bunch. This would be plenty for one person. I guess this might probably end up as about 2 tablespoons. So if you're struggling to keep them together, you can put a bit of wet paper towel around them. Otherwise, just sort of claw together. And then something that Kenji Lopez taught us, or me, was to try and do a back slice on chives and spring onions. So get that going for the whole way through, and then they'll be ready to put in your eggs when you need to. Okay, back over to our onions. Let's just give these a shake within the pan. We don't want anything getting too brown. We want it to be nice and even. So you can see that. I want that condensation. Now what I did last time I did caramelized onions, I put a tiny little bit of water in it, and then the lid went on so that we trapped all that condensation and they really sweetened up. So let's just do that. Alright, so that can go back on the heat. Alright, that's our chives all finely chopped. They can go in a separate bowl for now. Now, what would an Eggslut sandwich be without eggs? 2 of these. I'm using 2 for my one. You can use 3 if you like, or 4 if you like it pouring out the sides. And then we're just going to whisk those together. We don't really want any air or anything in them. Just bring them together homogeneously. This is such a good sandwich. The first time I made it on the Love Cafe stream, I didn't think it was going to be that good. And then even the picture looked as good as it tasted. It's amazing. Like, it's something so basic, and you can get all the ingredients in just a normal supermarket. Would definitely recommend you try this one at home. The only sort of odd thing you may need is the brioche bun, but you can use bread if you want. And also we're just using the Naan Con Non Bay, and I apologize for that pronunciation, but sriracha mayo. Or alternatively, you can just mix some mayonnaise with hot sauce to your liking. I don't know, probably start at maybe 1 teaspoon to a few tablespoons of mayonnaise, and then go from there and see how spicy or not you like it. But yeah, play around with it. See how you go. Alright, so now that the onion is looking kind of Bunnings style, we'll start to get our eggs going. So similarly, with the onion, we're just going to go on a low medium kind of heat. And at the moment, we just want to melt this about tablespoon of butter before we get our eggs in, which I've also put this much butter in as well. So let's melt the butter. Alright, so now that our butter is kind of bubbling and foaming away, we'll get our homogeneously combined eggs in to the pot. And then this is the work for a silicone or rubber spatula, whatever you're working with. And we're just going to keep everything constantly moving with both hands. And if it's not moving, off the heat. That's a tip I learnt from one Mr. Andrew Ray, and it has significantly improved my egg game. So now that we've got a few curds starting to form, we're going to add in my very small, but what I think is quite nice variation, and that's the addition of goat cheese. This is kind of like a heaped teaspoon, I guess. Let's just get it in all there. We'll probably go for a bit more. This is something I just sort of eyeball, and that you can add to taste, or if you want it OG style, don't put it in at all. Yeah, let's go with a little bit more. So 2 eggs, about 2 largish teaspoons, maybe call it a tablespoon and a bit. Again, see how you like it. The onions are maybe even probably just on the edge of being a little bit over. So let's take those off the heat and we can just put them in a bowl right next to all the coffee grounds. At this stage, now that your eggs are nearly ready and the onions off, we're gonna toast our buns. So I probably won't fit both of them in there, so we'll just start with one for now and keep working on our eggs. And this consistency is really good, so we're gonna get our chives in. What we want at the end is really kind of soupy, just barely holding together. And that's, I believe, credited to the dairy in the butter and the cheese. So we're going for a real silky, kind of smooth finished product. Let's get these chives in. Chives going in. And then mix those around so that it's bespeckled with green oniony goodness. Alright, so this can pretty much just stay on the heat to keep warm, but make sure it's either still moving or just on a bare heat, bare flame. Alright, check out that bun, that's a good one. And then the back one as well. Alright, so I took the eggs a little bit further so that they're not so soupy and they'll actually stay on the buns. And so we're done with the stove. We can take our eggs and our buns back over to the table. Let's get the eggs onto the bottom half of our burger. Okay, now this is sort of another interesting thing that we're doing with this one. I'm using Dairyworks Cheddar Natural Slices. It's like the only orange cheese that I can find here in Oz. And we're just going to quickly dip it in this hot pan. Get it kind of shiny. Don't take it too far and be very careful when you take it off. Just melty. And then it's picked up a little bit of that onion. But see, that shine is what you're really looking for. That's going to keep everything all nice and intact. All right. Then we're putting our onions on top. Whoop, a few fell off, that's okay. And then for the finisher, we got our sriracha mayo going on the top part of the bun. And there you have it. Fairfax sandwich that doesn't stray too far away from the original. Hopefully Alvin would be somewhat proud of me. I like to think he would be. But have a go at home. See what you like to vary with. Maybe, I don't know, put some briefly cooked ham or bacon on the bottom, or maybe some spring onions instead of the onion, or as well as the onions. But yeah, see what you can create, and give Alvin a shout out, and enjoy. Thanks for coming. Bye. They're barely holding together. So runny.